Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, good. You?
I'm well. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here. I had a great dating event last night where I met a wonderful lady there and I got her number. So I'm going to see how that goes.
Oh, you started from the main things. Actually, I have just uh, come back to from the date too. So that was we are in tune.
What about it?
But I can't say that this like was a very successful date. In most cases, Alexandra, I feel like I'm wasting my time here. This dating is so time consuming. That's definitely every time I need to be ready to go somewhere and then to spend time with this person, and it's not every time this person is really interesting for me. Don't you feel the
Oh,
same?
that happens to all of us. That happens to all of us. You just have to keep pushing at it.
Oh, yeah, but at the same time, you lose time. Yeah, you keep pushing, but then you get tired, get frustrated with it, and then and then you for some time just close these dating apps and think, okay, let me just live my life.
I think a lot of people worldwide now, not only in our two particular countries, may be feeling this sort of sensation, even though there are cultural differences and some places might have a tougher time than others. Definitely, this is a sensation that is widespread amongst respective population groups now.
Yeah, 100%. So this is actually why we choose this topic for our podcast. So welcome back to our podcast. And today we are talking about love, but not just love in general. We are comparing how romantic relationship and marriage look in Russian cultures versus American culture, maybe Western culture. Maybe I will say something about India as well as Russian. So from we will go from dating traditions to family expectations, proposals, weddings, and even what happens after a honeymoon phase. We will look at where these two worlds overlap and where they couldn't be more different. Let's dive in.
Let's dive into it.
So, how do people usually meet in the United States nowadays?
Well, the feeling I've been getting lately is that people are not meeting enough. And this is actually one of the reasons that a lot of the time people become discouraged. I would say that how people are meeting now is usually either through friends, some type of professional network, at work, or through some type of speed dating event, like I have been attending very recently, and it's worked out well so far for me. I think online dating in the United States has really declined in terms of its impact. Because, when you go online, you meet so many strange characters. And what I hear from a lot of people is that most of the profiles are actually entirely fake. I don't know how it is in Russia, but that certainly seems to be the case in the United States.
Yeah, it's the same in Russia, actually. I can't say that most of the profiles are fake. No, but there are some, and you can even understand which one is fake because it's too perfect. And you see, like, oh my God, no. If I live in Stavropol, if I live, for example, in Moscow, I might believe that this guy could be here, but not in Stavropol. Like you look at the picture and it's like you're too polished, too bright for this city. I know what kind of people. I know what to expect, and that's too much. But I think I get mostly frustrated with not with the bots or some kind of fake profiles, but with real people who are not ready to seriously input into this communication. So, for example, when you meet the person online, you start a conversation, and then one wrong word, which can be easily dropped even by a very witty and intelligent person, but just this person, he or she can be just tired or just out of I don't know, out of right questions, and then you immediately already got an impression that that's the wrong, and you just unlike him, right, and use the match. Yeah, for instance, that's I think that's a frustrating thing. Didn't you have something like that?
Well, I think nowadays what is happening to all of us is that we have so much quantitative choice in terms of the number of potential partners that
Right, yeah.
that people have become very
Picky?
unforgiving and cold in a way towards all of their prospective matches without realizing that they're doing it.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't these people realize and understand that this variety of choices which you mentioned, it's just an illusion in most cases, and to get a real match, you have to work on it, or maybe to be lucky, because yeah, you can meet a lot of people, but are you really interested in them, or they are really interested in you? And so this is just an illusion. Do you agree with me?
I do agree it's very uh, much an illusion, and it's also quite immature of people to be approaching things this way. However, illusion has a very great deal of power on the human subconscious mind. And so many
That's
of the little
true.
things that we do, especially when it comes to romantic affairs, are fueled by our subconscious drives, not just in terms of who we choose, but in terms of how we act towards them. I think what's happening now, too, is that people are, because they're so oversaturated in terms of the number of choices, quote unquote, that the online world seems to give them, they are being very, uh, without realizing it, they're not even looking at these options on the computer screen as real human beings, even though they may be. But at the same time, there's this sense that they don't know. And so therefore, they just power through. And by so doing, they kind of miss out on a lot of potential opportunities. And so we all end up getting trapped in this sort of merry-go-round where we're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah, agree. I agree completely. Because I've noticed this tendency even works with me. So I literally notice how for example, I got interested in one person, but then it doesn't work, and then I lose others, completely lose because I'm interested in this, and then this person turned out to be not interesting at all. But I'm not coming back to the old ones. I go scrolling again. I mean, if we are talking about online apps, yeah, dating apps. I'm sorry. Yeah, I go scrolling again. I don't go back for some reasons. I don't know what is this thing about, but I would rather go and see a new one. What is it? Maybe it's just about having a new dose of dopamine when someone likes you. That's an interesting thing.
Yes,
So,
yes. And it is. It is very much that. Every time we interact with a new person, It's exciting, and we get a little rush of dopamine in our brains, and it becomes like a rather addictive behavior pattern. And for people, most people nowadays, I don't know how it is in Russia, but here certainly people are not growing up as they should. They're not learning manners as they should, and they're not learning a sense of maturity as they should. The way society is now, it caters to a kind of perpetual adolescence, to where you're always just seeking the next little high that you can get from someone or some activity or fill in the blank, whatever it happens to be.
That's true. You mentioned speed dating. I remember in my city, someone organized it some years before, but it didn't work well. How's it working in California?
It seems to be really exploding in California.
Hmm.
Of course, I am not a administrator of one of the organizations, but I would say it seems to be very, very popular. And last week, where I met another lady and also got her
Oh,
number,
but
it was a
I'm
huge success.
curious. I'm curious.
Uh,
Is it free or do you pay for every this show? I don't know
no,
what is it called.
you pay for your ticket. Each person pays for their ticket, and then
Huh?
you get to go to the event. And
Ah,
there's like
uh-huh.
a QR code on your phone that the person in charge scans, and then that verifies, oh yes, you're
Uh-huh.
registered and paid for this event. That's kind of
Uh-huh.
how it works.
Okay, I'm just I'm just trying to imagine it and tell me, are people, what does they wear? Are girls wearing night evening dresses or and guys in tuxedos, or everyone is just casual? How does it look like?
Well, uh, people dress on dates and for romantic meetings. It varies a lot with the time of life that they're in, their financial status, what crowd they're moving in, and also the regional culture of the place in which they live. Certain places like California and Israel, which I know you visited, people dress very casually all of the time, even for business, because it has a lot to do with the weather and the climate. In more northern regions, perhaps, or cultures that are more old school, or they have more of a sense of old classical traditions, people dress formally.
But no,
Depending on the crowd I'm with.
for this date, people want to look better, right? So I'm asking about speed dating exactly.
Yes, I know. And what I'm saying is that that sense of how we dress can vary a little bit. So no one is wearing suits and ties, really. They might put on a nice shirt, but everybody is very concerned with being fresh and clean. But the style may be casual
Mhm.
because everything here is pretty casual. Completely the opposite, I'm sure, from Stavropol, where I know the social customs are much more conservative. Everyone, I'm sure, would be totally dressed up. In New York, where I lived before Los Angeles, people would tend to be more dressed up.
No, I wouldn't say that guys would be wearing some kind of let's say suit or tuxedo. No, no way. I think here guys would be wearing, most of guys would be wearing just sweaters or a t-shirt with jeans, but girls can do something more like elaborate their look. Maybe not an evening dress, but it would be a nice dress, which will be very attractive and sexy. I'm sure for about that. Um,
Hmm.
okay. So let me ask you, how many um maybe stages of dating are common there right now? So, for example, you met this woman, let's say this in speed dating show, and then what would be the next step? What is expectable to have?
Well, two people can go on a little bit of a texting spree for a few days as they're just getting to know each other, maybe a phone call. Although not so many people, as you've probably noticed in your own life, have long phone calls these days. It's mostly texting. And then after everyone's comfortable or people are not both busy with work, then they arrange a time to meet and then they start dating in private and in person.
Obviously.
Yes. But
That would be
stages of
interesting
dating.
if you still go in 20.
But stages of dating here in the US have certainly changed down through the decades. It used to be more of a, I would say, a set piece affair where the stages would be very predictable. But in recent years, there's been so much social change because fewer and fewer people have a lot of money and can afford things. And there's less tradition in terms of how things are done than there ever has been before. So people end up doing all kinds of things. Some things that I would feel uncomfortable doing myself, even. I've heard of all kinds of what are called situationships. I really don't
Uh-huh.
understand those. Uh,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
uh, some people are very conservative, in fact. And actually, I met a young woman the other month before I went traveling to Europe. We were dating a little bit, and she's a very conservative Christian in terms of her beliefs and her expectations. And so,
Mm.
someone like that, even though she lives in what is globally considered to be a more liberal environment, she's going to walk a different path, even though she lives here, from
Mhm.
someone over here who may be involved in a situationship, one of these things that
Yeah.
I already mentioned. So it varies a lot. It varies a lot here, and it's much more difficult to predict. How are things in Stavropol? I always think of your region as being somewhere that is very conservative almost in everything.
Oh,
How
not
true
at
are the
all.
perceptions there?
No, not at all. You're thinking Stavropol is not North Caucasus. It's not Chechnya, let's say.
No,
The
certainly
city
not.
is right. Yeah, the city is quite close to these republics, Caucasian Muslim republics, and a lot of guys come because we have universities here. A lot of young youth, I mean Caucasian youth here, and they study here. But Stavropol itself, no, not at all. And these young people, I mean Caucasian young people, they come here and they behave absolutely in a, let's say, modern way. So nothing like you said. And I think that this, what you described, we have the same story here. Absolutely the same. So you can meet a very, let's say, like innocent a girl who would never go into like let's say physical relationship before marriage, and she would stay on her words, and we could meet those who are ready to have a situationship whenever you want, and it can be even it's maybe a little bit rare, but I think right now it's not already will be surprising to meet those both of these types among Caucasian Muslim people too, which come to our city. So we have the same, absolutely the same story. That like, um, and in terms of stage, the same here. So people, if they meet online, they talk a little bit, go into messengers, text each other, then they might have a call, sometimes video call to check if it's not a bot, if the same person with the same face, something like that. And yeah, because ladies, they like to make this. beautiful pictures with using some
But
gadgets.
they're filters. Yeah, they're not actually how the person looks.
Yeah, when you go to meet get to meet them finally, then you can be very disappointed. So yeah, I understand the guys who sometimes want to check, but at the same time, it can be very, when I get this question from the beginning, like, what is your weight or what is your height, and send me a picture standing, not just your face, then I just get like what is it like? Are you choosing the car or the cow or what is it? Like, have
Yes.
patience
Yeah.
a little bit. Give it some time. You will get it
Mhm.
definitely. Sooner or later you will get it. But what is it? You are out of time. Then you are free. This what happens here. But then everyone decide individually when to start something serious and to start it or not. um, how quickly do people introduce a partner to family there?
That varies a lot too. And I know I say that a lot, but it's because I live in a society that is constantly changing every decade socially, and it's very hard to predict. But I would say that a lot of people will introduce someone as soon as they become serious. Um, and then a lot of other people, depending on their family status, let's say they're distant from their family, they will even hide the fact that they're dating someone seriously or living with someone, even up until the point of marriage. And then they might mention, "Oh, by the way, I am going to get married to this person in a couple of months, and I dare you to disapprove."
Why would they do that? That's interesting to hide.
Some people here will do that because if they grew up in a situation where their parents give them a hard time about everything, or their parents were not a source of happiness, then they don't want interference from their parents or even the opinion of their parents. And so they will wait until it's too late for their parents to try to undermine. Now,
Mm,
that's in
hmm
the negative cases. In the positive cases, of course, they will think about introducing someone very quickly after only a few months, if it turns out that those two people are serious.
mm.
So you'll get the full spectrum here.
Yeah, I think that's a bit easier to do in America because, as I know, yeah, the separation goes much earlier. So up when like you are reached, let's say 18, 20, you are have to live separately, and then it's easy to hide this. But in Russia, we don't have this process, if I can say so. We don't have these customs. Yeah, like you have to live separately. No, I have friends of mine who are almost 40 and they live with their parents, and that's absolutely normal common thing here. Um,
I would say this is actually one of the very interesting and very torturous social transformations that has occurred here over the last few decades. It used to be that this culture where I'm living was very independent, like you say, and people would leave home very early. But now, over the last 3 decades or so, it's become less common because people can no longer afford to do that because of economics and the all of that stuff. And so people are doing exactly the same. They're living with their parents all the way,
mm,
maybe up
mm,
until 40. But they are living double lives where they will keep their personal lives totally secret.
mhm. I see. Okay.
because they don't want that interference.
Mhm. I
Whereas
understand.
over in your part of the world, I think um, there isn't this kind of double psychology where people will feel like, oh man, I was supposed to leave the house at 20, but now I can't. I have to stay in my parents' house until 30 or 33 or whatever it is. Uh, but I feel ashamed about this.
Hmm.
So I will keep everyone totally separate for years and years and years so that I never embarrass myself.
Hmm.
Whereas in your part of the world, it's part of custom, maybe to live with parents until marriage. And so there's nothing embarrassing about it. Here, it's much more of a double psychology, as I said.
Yeah. I mean, if we are talking about Caucasian families, then you can live with your parents even after marriage. But I mean, Orthodox, I mean, Slavic people who live here, no, they mostly uh, got separated. And speaking
What
about,
general ages does that tend to occur now in your part of Russia?
can you repeat the question, please?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. What ages does that tend to happen in Russia now? How early do people manage to leave their parents' homes, if at all?
Of course, they do leave their parents' home when they go to study, and then it can happen at 17. And
Right.
a lot of these people already don't come back, for example. But um, then if they still stay with their parents and they, for example, didn't get married or something, they can be with their parents till 30, but then after 30 they already start thinking about kind of separate nest. So this like general tendency, I would say so. um, so speaking mm, about uh, presenting you here to parents, yeah, inviting parents, introducing a partner to parents here. I think it happens when the same way like you, when people get serious. And for example, one of my friend, she didn't introduce her partner to parents for a very long time. They were dating for, let's say, 4 years or something, for a reason, because she didn't want to disturb her parents, to show them, like she wanted to show only the right one and the last one, you know. um
Hmm.
so that was the thing. um so but some people can do it very quickly, I think in 2 months. I know some people who did in 3 months recently, someone said. So this happens like that. Another interesting question I have: who is expected to pay on dates there
That's a
in
very
America?
interesting instance because it seems now that nobody can quite agree, and it really seems to depend on the couple. Personally, pay for uh, the woman that I'm with on a date. But I have to be careful because there's a lot of women now because of various I would say very negative social ideologies which have taken root here over the last couple of decades again, where a lot of uh, women are just trying to squeeze money or free stuff out of men as a practice, as a lifestyle, and they're not actually interested in the guy they're going out with. So you just have to be, if you're a guy, you have to be kind of aware of that, and you can sense it pretty easily. You know who's interested in you and who's not really interested in you. They're just coming along for the ride if you're paying attention. So usually, I would say that a man is considered to be a better man, usually, if he's the one who pays for the date. But some people are doing something else entirely now, where they are paying down the middle, 50-50 of
Hmm.
whatever that restaurant or that bar bill happens to be. Um, and they're quite proud of it. And indeed, some women I've met on occasion may even be feel like you're insulting or belittling them if you offer to pay. But again, this really depends on what social type of social circle you are moving in.
Then another question, how do you offer to pay? I mean, if it's so like not a safe zone, how do you do this? Like,
Well, I what I usually do, I don't know how every other man might do it. What I imagine other men may do, who are similar to myself at least, is that when the waiter brings the bill around, I immediately summon it to my hand and put my credit card or the required amount of cash in, and that is that. Um, but other people may, I believe, have like a little bit of a micro negotiation, or they have split checks, or they decide some other way that they're going to do it.
oh,
That's usually how I've heard it being done.
so you prefer to like not to discuss, just to show back action, and if she wants to stop, she will stop. Yeah, that's your
Yes.
uh-huh.
Yes, yes. If she has some type of objection, yeah, she can always verbally raise it. Are you sure you want to pay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
Hmm.
then as the man, you can insist or not insist,
Hmm.
and both decide what is comfortable for you both.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, speaking about Russia, I think you know that here is absolutely would be very it's very surprising if the guy say, "Will you pay?" or "Let's do it 50-50."
Yeah.
Not appropriate at all. Yeah, that's it's 100% in 100% of the cases the man will pay for everything, and the woman is just uh, just a beautiful woman next to him.
I'm very curious, actually, because of how much the world is changing and how fast, as we all can feel it. What are there any generational differences there in Russia in terms of these attitudes? What attitudes do you sense are growing among the very young people in Russia, like the people that are teenagers right now? Because I've seen some Russian teenagers that I've met through some different networks. And when I look at them, I'm almost kind of shocked. It's like they came straight out of Hollywood or something. They're just like American teenagers. And then I wonder to myself, gee, well, I wonder, because I often hear that Russia is socially a more conservative place. But then I look at these particular teenagers, and they look like they're probably extremely liberal. So, what is going on there now from your perception amongst the very young people, the people that are far younger even than us?
Well. I think the world is globalization. I think didn't leave anyone aside, and I think it's affected Russia too. And I'm sure that the ones which you've seen, that's I think the most maybe. The kids of rich parents who are able to learn English, who are able to show up in everything. We can't generalize and say that everyone is like that, but there some can be, yeah, can be absolutely. We can say that there is no difference between American and Russian. But how does he date? Um I think the same way like I do it. I don't think that they do it in different way. They use the same apps. There is nothing uh like made up, nothing new made up. We use the same apps, and I think they do the same way. Um, so I don't think that they different in this in terms of this. I think we chosen such a big topic to discuss today, and our usual 40 minutes is absolutely not enough for this broad topic. So I think we should.
Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. And there's certainly a lot more to unpack, which we may do in a different way in future episodes. But one thing is definitely true. We are all living through amazing times right now where the rules of our lives and our relationships are rapidly changing. And it helps to have uh, voices like ours, I think, that represent the ordinary perspective or the perspective of the ordinary living person and not the maybe the famous person, to sort of gauge out what people are feeling and thinking as we all live through these great changes together.
Agree on that. Everyone gets uh, such a sensation of freedom. We do, and I mean, not only in relationship, in a communication. So, listeners, thank you for listening our counter currents voices, and until next time, keep love alive in whatever way works better for you. Goodbye, Alexander.
Goodbye, Paulina.